right.
Is it my turn to?
Sure. Awesome.
Welcome to Morrison Madness. I'm Don.
I'm Lachelle.
So today, on this episode of Things Not to Buy, or Things to Buy, we are going to talk about spot carpet shampooer thingamajigger bobbers.
Yeah.
Which, if you have puppies...
If you have carpet. Really.
If you have puppies or children...
Yes. Very helpful.
Especially during the housebreaking period of puppies and children.
Yep.
These things are kind of nice.
But even if you don't, your kids have come over and borrowed these because they, dropped a plate of spaghetti between the kitchen and the couch kind of thing. Something like that has happened. So if you have carpet, I would honestly recommend you looking at getting something like this. You might not use it very often, but it's definitely handy to have, and it's easy then to spot clean stuff if anything gets spilled anywhere. So if you have...
And just in for full disclosure, we have full versions.
Oh, yeah, we have a full carpet cleaner. But I don't think most people need a full carpet cleaner. You can go and rent a full carpet cleaner fairly easily.
Right.
So unless you have a big house with lots of carpet that you want to be able to clean
Which is why we have
own.
a full version.
Right.
And actually we have more than one, but yeah.
Right. But yes, if you have kids, if you yourself are clumsy, if you have puppies or pets or anything along those lines, I highly recommend having a spot cleaner. And we have two versions here today. We have I'm trying to even remember what they're called. This one's the Bissell. Mm-hmm. And I think
Green machine?
Yeah, the Little Green, Bissell Little Green Pro Heat Pet, Turbo Brush Pet is what it's called. And then this one is the Hoover Clean Slate that we have. And so I had the Bissell Pro Clean Pet version for years. I had it a long time. I think I got it shortly after I got Kaylee. So now 16 years ago, something like that I got this spot cleaner. And it went through a lot of use. And I replaced parts on it because parts would break on it. But it went through a lot of use, and then recently it decided to up and die on us, and so we needed to buy a new one, and so I did a little bit of research, and we were planning on just getting the same thing again, but I did a little bit of research, and I thought, you know what, we're going to try something new and see.
And we'll go over with you the reasons why we didn't get the Bissell again.
Right. I think the Bissell is a great tool, and you kind of have to decide for yourself which one you think is better for you, but there are certain things that I really like about the Hoover over the Bissell. And we'll talk about that. But there's certain components about the Bissell that I really like that the Hoover doesn't have.
So what are the things about the Bissell that you like?
So one of the big things that I really liked about the Bissell was the heat. So the nice thing about these cleaners is you put the cleaning solution in one tank, and then as you're using it, the dirty stuff goes into a separate tank. You only have to empty out the dirty tank. You don't have to empty out the solution tank every single time. So it's already filled, ready to go. You can just grab it whenever something spills. So then because of that, the heat component then would heat up that solution as you're putting it onto the carpet, which kind of helps break up that stain a little bit more.
Depending on the stain, yeah.
Right. Where the Hoover does not have any heat component, so it's just going to be room temperature solution.
Okay, so I just want to focus on the things that you like about this and not talk about the Hoover.
That's what I'm saying. I like that on the Bissell.
Okay.
The Hoover does not have that.
I know. Stop bringing up the Hoover. You're missing what I'm trying to get here. Okay, so what else did you like about this besides the heat? At the time that you bought it and when you were using it.
Oh, so at the time that I bought it, so the other parts that I liked about it, I like how it's easy, it's small, it's compact. It all keeps all of the components that you want kind of thing on it. So again, you can stick it in a closet, whatever, it's easy to grab. The fact that it holds the solution and it was ready to go whenever a spill happened. I didn't have to mix the solution and do that first, so I could clean it immediately. Was super convenient. It had a nice long cord on it, so plugging it into a wall and being able to reach where the stain wasn't a problem.
So it has, besides this regular attachment, which you can just physically brush the area where there might be a stain, it also has this other attachment, which... if I can
So the first attachment, just has brush bristles on
Why
it.
can I not get it off of there?
You got to push that white piece in.
I'm trying to push that white piece in. There we
you
go. So this has an automatic brush. It's got a gear in it that the water moves the gear and makes the bristles spin around, and then you're not having to actually scrub back and forth, which is nice in some instances, some areas, like you may not have a lot of room to be moving it back and forth.
Right.
So these are handy for cleaning spots up on, in addition to just like your regular carpet, like on furniture
Yep.
or in your car.
Yep. Or on stairs or something along those lines where, a large upright carpet cleaner is really hard to do something on stairs or something.
And then I'm not sure if you can see, but the hose stretches all the way around the machine. So it's a fairly long hose. I would say that it's 3, maybe 4 feet long max with the attachment on it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it's about that long. The
Well,
I
what
forgot
was
what I was
another
saying.
component that you really liked about it? So we've talked about how it's easy to transport. It's not super heavy.
Yeah. Those were pretty much the main things. I mean,
Okay.
the other component or the other machine that was available at the time, I think, was the SpotBot that had where you set it on the carpet and the bristles were on the bottom of the machine and
And they
it
spun. Yeah.
And I wasn't as big a fan of that because a lot of times it's just a matter of I just want to soak something up. Like something spilled, I need to put a little cleaner down on it, but I really just need to get it up.
Right.
I don't need to scrub that carpet.
Right. It's not a
completely.
set-in stain.
Correct. And so that the one that just sat down and scrubbed, that's the way I felt like it worked the best. My brother had that one. He really liked that one. So we just had different preferences, but
So then what were the drawbacks that we found to this?
so one of the drawbacks is that the solution tank is really big. And so sometimes it will almost seem like the solution would settle or something in it. So I got to where I didn't fill the solution tank each time when it would empty. I would only fill it part way because it would take a long time for me to actually go through using all of the solution that was in it. Another component that really kind of would frustrate me is that a lot of times, and this is partly just my habit, is that I would set the machine down and plug it in and then try and take the hose off, and the plug-in is over top of the hose. So then I'm having to feed the hose underneath the plug-in cord, and that would frustrate me. And then the last component that frustrated me, and it frustrated me quite a bit on this because I had to replace it several times, is that this head brush, the one that has the bristles and that you just use to scrub, this one, the way that the solution comes out, if you didn't actually hold the head of the brush, there was too much pressure and it would break this component on here. And so then when you would go to squirt the solution out, it wouldn't actually go
Spray, it would just
where-
drizzle out.
Yeah, spray where it needed to go. It would drizzle out or pour in one little spot kind of thing and not spray wide. And so you had to kind of change how you were cleaning, which isn't the way that it was designed because there's this long handle that you naturally want to hold. And so I didn't really care for the way that that was put together.
Well, and we also had the same issue with this piece breaking more than once and
Yep.
had to replace. Now I realize over the course of 15
Yes.
years approximately, but
You expect those
still,
kind of things to break.
you wouldn't expect that many things to
No,
break
and I didn't
break that
use,
often.
I didn't use the automatic turn bristle one very often simply because I didn't feel like I think it runs off of the suction of the machine and it didn't spin very fast. And again, if I wanted something scrubbed, it was faster and easier for me just to use manual power in a
Right.
small spot than to sit and hold it.
Like, it's not a bad idea, it's just not the best design.
Yeah, again, if you're using an upright, you're doing a larger area, you're not wanting to scrub yourself. These are designed for small spots.
Right.
So when it's already spinning on its own, you're just supposed to sit and kind of hold it. And I'm sure like if I was doing like an entire staircase, maybe that would make sense. But I never did that. I didn't have stairs at my last house.
Right.
So then, we didn't use it for that. And so we haven't, and I don't know if the kids had done the stairs here. I haven't done the stairs here.
Not with the shampooer, no.
And so, again, I would just scrub by hand if I
Right.
needed to do that kind of a space. And so,
I would say, though, that overall, our number one complaint from both of us is how hard it is to clean. Like,
Yes.
you got to be real careful taking this piece apart to clean this.
You can't really take that lid
Or
lid off.
it's supposed to snap off.
Oh, well, every time I would try, it would break.
Yes, and so it's hard to get it clean. Same with this thing.
Yes.
And even the fill tank is impossible to get clean.
Yes.
Like we would fill it up, dump it, fill it up, dump it.
Fill it up, shake it,
You
dump
can't get
it.
a brush down in there. Tried filling it up, putting a little bleach in there, shaking it around, letting it sit. It's just impossible to get it clean. And
Yeah.
so then,
On the Bissell one, yeah.
you know, and if you don't empty this thing out right away
Immediately.
and clean it, it starts to stink.
Right.
And so then the other thing is, I don't think that there's any way on the Bissell to clean the hose. So then I feel like you're possibly just putting down dirty water,
Right.
you know?
No,
And then,
no, because there's a tube, and it's hard to see on the Bissell. You can, but it's there. The Bissell.
oh,
can
that's
see
right. It's got that little thin tube down the inside of it.
Right, and
yeah,
the
so you're
solution
not putting
comes
down
down
dirty water. But
no, the solution comes through a smaller tube within the hose that is sucking up the dirty water. But you can tell on our video, the tube on the Bissell is like a brown color. It was clear when
Right.
I bought this machine, so clearly there's grossness in the machine.
right. Yeah, and you're never getting the fill tank all the way clean.
No, there was no way. And I don't know if you can pull that off and kind of show it on the video or not, but just the way that you have to open that fill tank up, that there isn't a very good way.
Yeah, you've got to take this piece out.
And the stuff on the inside doesn't come out.
Right.
And so it would move on you, and so it's just kind of gross all over on the inside. Now, the Hoover, though, is brand new. We've used it twice, 3 times since we've gotten it, so it's still very clean for a machine. I'm sure if this was 15 years old, it would have
Right.
grossness in it as well, because machines are going to get gross over time. So keep that in mind if you're watching the video, that this is kind of a weird review because we used one for 15 years and the other one is brand new. And the Bissell may have updated some other pieces as far as the attachments, but we just ordered the attachments a couple years ago and they were exactly the same.
Right.
So I don't believe that the attachments have been updated to where they're easier to take
And we looked
apart.
at other models online.
We did.
And knowing what we know about this one and then going by people's reviews of the products, and then if they had similar issues like this one had,
Right.
then we tried to steer away from those, and eventually this is the one that we bought.
Right.
So what are the things about the Hoover that you like?
So one of the things that I liked about the Hoover was that it's actually a smaller footprint. Because again, when I'm doing the spot cleaning, I'm not usually having to clean huge spots. It's a small spot. And so you don't have to use a ton of solution and you don't have to, fill the tank 20 times. And so I wasn't worried about having big tanks. And so this actually takes less space in the cabinet, on the shelf, what have you. I also like the attachments on this a little bit better. So I can kind of show there's a couple different attachments. And again, it's fairly new, so it's hard for me to even remember how to fully get these off. So this is one attachment here. And this one specifically the pet design machine. And so this comes with the pet design machine, this big attachment. But this bigger attachment was one of the pieces that I really liked and I really was excited about getting, because it has a bigger area for scrubbing and things along those lines. And when they come off, if I can do it without breaking anything, it pops off here. And so the cleaner component, which was the part that would break on the Bissell, is actually on the handle here, and it isn't part of the attachment. So when you're putting that pressure on the attachment, it's not putting pressure on the cleaner component.
The
So
sprayer.
The sprayer, right, thank you. So then the sprayer isn't having pressure put on it to break, to where I'm hoping that the sprayer doesn't break as easily on this one, because if it does, then it's going to be a problem for the whole machine.
Right.
So then you have to replace, I don't know if you replace the hose, I'm not
Well,
sure.
there's a couple of screws there that come apart
Okay,
that I feel like
yeah.
you could change it out, but
Yep, good view there. Yeah, so so I'm sure that you could probably, if the sprayer component comes apart, but so you could replace that if you need to. But I liked the component or the tools There's another tool section here that you can add. This is a small tool to get into a small area, which I really kind of liked because sometimes they're right in that corner or something that way. And so it's a little bit smaller to get into those areas. And then it even had more tools, which I have down here. And it came with a little bag that you can store these tools in, and then it hangs like in the closet. And so in here, I'm going to move my drink over here before I spill it.
Spill it.
Yep. In here, we have a wide scrub tool. And then the regular scrub tool, which is similar to what is on the Bissell, but this one's even just a little bit bigger. And this, the smaller scrub tool has like, I don't know how you describe those bristles, but
Stiff bristles.
sure, where the wider one has like a rubber scrubber on it, as well as I'm reaching down in this bag. For the wider tool, you can swap out the brushes for the stiff fabric bristles.
Nylon bristles, right? Versus rubber bristles.
Yeah, versus rubber bristles. And so I was intrigued by that because I thought, well, that's kind of interesting. I wonder if the rubber wouldn't be helpful for like scrubbing on carpet. I didn't know.
And I feel like it depends on the types of carpet that you have. So
Sure.
the nylon bristles are going to be better for like slightly longer, shaggy carpet,
Mm-hmm.
and the shorter matte type carpets, the rubber bristles would be better for.
Right. And I've been using the pet one, which is a little bit whiter, heavier duty. It even has a gripper up here so you can really get in and scrub, which has rubber bristles on it as well. And I really like the rubber bristles. And we have medium
Yeah.
tile carpet. It's not flat carpet. There's some shag to it, but it's not shaggy
No.
carpet. The other component that I really liked, which we didn't know until we actually got all of these, is that it is super easy to take these apart and clean the components.
Yes.
I mean, just pop that top off and you can get into all of the nooks and crannies to clean them. So nothing is getting stuck within your actual tools, which I thought was really nice. The hose is put together well. The power cord does kind of go over the hose, but so far I haven't had that same issue where I feel like I'm having to fight the hose and the power cord together. Other thing that I like, the solution tank is a little bit smaller, which is totally what I wanted.
Right.
I didn't want a big solution tank because I want to be able to get through that solution and not have it sit and feel like it's separating on me.
Or becoming stagnant, even
Right.
though there's cleaner in it. Yeah.
Right. And so you can see that solution tank is not very big. And the solution bottles that you get for these are tiny. I mean, they're the size of a water bottle or less kind of thing. And you use a capful of solution for this much. So it
Right.
lasts a long time. You're not having to use a ton of solution. You're not having to store a big bottle of solution. And then the other component was the cleaning tank.
The fill tank.
Yeah. The dirty water tank. Sorry, I'm not left-handed. And why is it not coming off?
I don't know. I haven't played with this toy much.
It should just,
I feel
there
like
we go.
you're not
Oh,
any-handed.
because you had to pull. Yep, so you can tell I haven't used it very much. I'm still getting used to it. So you have to kind of pull towards you. But this one, you can see the tank is a little bit different, but and it still has those parts that kind of move in there. But again, when you want to clean it, this whole lid comes off and you can fit fingers, scrubbers, that kind of stuff all down in there and really get that tank clean. The whole lid opens up, where the other one, you couldn't get to the whole tank. So it was a lot harder to clean the dirty side.
Right.
So I really liked that component of it as well.
So, and then there was one other feature that we liked about it.
Okay.
This right here.
Oh yeah, the hose rinse tool. And so the hose rinse tool, this part on the top, I don't know if the camera's picking that up. It's right here. There's a little part here that you pop off, and then this actually pops onto your hose on the end. And what that does is basically create a loop from your cleaning solution straight into your hose. So you pop that onto the end of your hose and hold it there, and then you press the solution. The solution comes out just like as if you were spraying it onto the carpet, but it immediately gets sucked back up. So then the solution is actually cleaning your hose as you go. And then from working with this machine and realizing so late, because the hose was getting so grimy and gross, that the only way that I could clean this hose was basically stick the hose end down into like a cup of water and soak up a cup of water into your dirty tank with no solution. And so I would do that. And so I did do that the couple times that I've used this. I will use this on the end. So then solution is actually going through your hose, just clean, plain solution, so that it's kind of cleaning your hose out. And then I would still stick it in a glass of water and let it suck up a glass of water, and it kind of rinses that hose out. But this end piece doesn't seem like very much, and it's just a little plastic piece, but it does actually help keep that hose clean and looking nice, and hopefully it won't get so grimy over 15 years. But again, I'm sure it will get some grimy.
So I realize that we've only had this for a month and we've only used it a few times.
Right.
Is there a drawback that you found to it that you hadn't realized from reading the reviews?
No, there isn't a drawback that I have found. The only thing that I miss is, again, that heat component. But I'm not sure that it matters as much, because usually we're catching the stain right away and we're needing to clean it up right away. And so you don't really need the heat component as much. So I'm not sure that it matters. I'm not sold that it's a make or break component to where I would give up the ease of cleaning for heat.
Right. So we are not sponsored by Hoover or
Bissell.
We don't want you to think that we're anti-Bissell.
No, I love Bissell products.
We're just telling you, our experience with the two, why when we needed to get a new one, we went with this one and not another Bissell.
Right.
Everybody's going to have their own experiences with stuff, but we highly recommend this one for all of the reasons that we just went over.
Right.
If you have any questions or comments, please leave them for us. We're happy to get feedback, and we may come back and do another video at some point later on if we decide that there are more things about this that we learned that we don't like, or more things that we learned that we do like.
Right. And again, I'll show real quick just on a different tool, because I showed it on the pet tool, and you might not want to spend the extra for the pet tool. The way that this just pops apart on that Hoover. So that tool just pops apart, and then again, you can swap out the brushes real slick. It's not difficult. You're not needing like extra tools, screwdrivers, something along those lines. You can rinse all of that out and then pop that back on. And it, I feel like, I don't know that they're dishwasher safe, but it can all get submerged down into water easily. So it's not a big issue to do any of that. Real easy to clean the tools on the Hoover, which we did not have with the Bissell.
Great.
Yeah. So
that's our review for this episode.
Yeah. Hopefully you enjoyed our carpet cleaning, spot cleaner episode. Let us know if there's other things that you want us to review. Again, this one, just because we had to order a new one, we had two here. We were able to review side by side, kind of show you, if you're watching on YouTube, the size difference between the two. And again, kind of, do you want to turn the Bissell around just for YouTubers? You can kind of see the back, how the cords and cables kind of sit. So it's a little bit easier to see. And you can see, again, the size difference. The Hoover definitely takes smaller space as far as
right
storage and stuff that way. It might be, the handle is a little bit taller, but the components don't stick up above like the Bissell sticks up above. So it really, the height is about the same.
Well, and shelf.
But depth.
Yeah, this one can go on a much narrower shelf.
Yeah, this one might be a little bit
wider.
I'm not sure. You'd have to turn that one 90 degrees to kind of see. Yeah, it might be, especially if you're using like the big tool. I'll put the big tool back on here.
Yeah, I don't It could be, but this tool over here sticks out quite a bit.
Does it? So they're fairly comparable. I mean, it's not a make or break as far as one will fit and one won't. So, and here with that tool on, that's the bigger tool. You can see that it sticks out maybe a little bit past here. I guess maybe this one doesn't hold the hose quite as tight, but I also don't pull. I can pull it tighter if I wanted to make it tighter. But the hose doesn't fall off either on the front here, but you can see that it's a little looser. So, no, I haven't found stuff on the Hoover that I'm not happy with yet. But again, I've only used it a few times, so give me time.
So that's our episode for this week. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
Again, like she said, if you have anything that you want us to review, please send us your suggestions. If it's something that we're able to do, we like to do them. It's educational for us and hopefully helps other people out.
Right.
Check us out on all the socials.
Yep.
The best place to get all of our info is sleekbio.morrison dash.
Yep, sleekbio.com. Here, I'll grab the sheet. sleekbio.com/Morrison Madness. So, and again, that's kind of like your link in bio on Instagram. It's the same concept, but sleekbio.com/Morrison Madness, SLEEK.
Or you can go to our Morrison Madness Facebook page or our website.
Absolutely. Yep.
And find all of our other links on those places as well.
Absolutely.
So
we'll see you next time. Take care.